everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with another layout. And this one I knew the page that I want to do, and I start looking into my papers to see if I had anything that would coordinate, and I found this pattern paper collection from Basic Gray, and you can tell there it was 2008, so an older collection, and it was still like in the package and everything. And I don't think back then they did have like a few stickers, but it's not like now where, when a collection is released, there's stickers, there's die cut ephemera packs, there's enamel dots, there's letters, there's, all that stuff. Back then you would have like the paper collection and maybe, a sticker, like a sticker sheet. But so I went into my stash and I found this stamp set, which, to tell you the truth, I don't even know where this stamp set is from because it wasn't in the package anymore. And when I was unpacking my stuff, I found it again. I think it is a Basic Gray stamp set, maybe. But it's all about dinosaurs. And there was a story that I want to tell about Mason and about dinosaurs. And this happened last December. My daughter and her boyfriend and Mason went to Newfoundland, which you need to get like on a ferry, and it's a very long time on the ferry. And they had quite the adventures, and I haven't even scrapbooked one of them, and I need to do that before the stories sort of get forgotten. No, I wasn't there, but man, they at Christmas time, like they came home. They went there before Christmas, and then they came home so that they would be here for Christmas. And we had all the stories over Christmas dinner, and everybody was just hooting, because Mason is quite the character. So anyway, they were on the ferry there, which I think was a little bit less uneventful. And on the way back, though, there was quite a bit of stuff that went on, and like I'll divulge each story as I make pages. But this one in specific, I didn't have a picture of him during that story, but this was just before they got on the ferry, and his mom took a picture of him, and he's got the look on his face like, oh my goodness, here comes adventure. And it just was funny to me, like the look on his face kind of reminded me of this story because it was quite funny. So on the way back, it was really rough, the water and everything. And so it was a rough way back. And let me just say, by the end of it, like water-wise, and by the end of it, everyone on that ferry knew Mason. Okay. And but this one in specific was right after, like, it was at least an hour that the water was so bad that everybody was affected by it. And then this lady started talking to Mason to see if he was okay and everything. And then this story kind of happened. But before we get to the story, I took one of the sheets that had a little bit of green, a little bit of brown, so that I could do, what I want to do with this page. And then I went into my stash and got a template. And this template is a 6x6, and it looks like, some big leaf. And it just kind of reminded me of like dinosaurs. And so I'm going to cut down my pattern paper, and I'm going to mount the whole thing on brown just to, those pattern papers they're not very sturdy. I mean, this was like 9 years ago, and their pattern papers weren't as sturdy as they are now. Like some of them right now are, super thick and can be used as background. This one was kind of flimsy, and that's why I added some gesso to the background, because I wanted to add a little bit of mixed media. Nothing too crazy. I just want to add some of the Shimmers products, and it's like a modeling paste, but it's already colored. And I have all of them. I have some of them. So while I have them, I'm going to use what I have before they all dry up. So while I'm inking the edges, I'll just tell you a little bit of the story. So Mason was talking to this lady, and they were having quite the conversation. And like I said, by the end of the trip, he had talked to everyone on that ship. He's quite the chatter, and he's quite the chatterbox. So this lady was talking to him, and they were talking about dinosaurs. And so at one point she says, "You know, Mason, dinosaurs, they're extinct." And very seriously says, "Yeah, I know." And she says, "You know?" She says, "Do you know what extinct means?" He says, "Yeah, they fart and it stinks." I guess the lady laughed so hard. And I mean, hello, like it does sound like that when you say extinct, right? So to him, that's what it was. So I wanted to make sure that I had that in my books or in my scrapbook, so that the story wouldn't go forgotten. So now back to the layout quickly. I used some of those stamp sets, and I'm just inking them in different inks, in brown and in green. And I took 3 of the dinosaurs, and I went from the smallest dinosaur to the biggest dinosaur. And I'm just using some Hero Arts ink in 2 or 3 different colors. There is a dark brown, there's a dark green, and then sort of a light brown. And that's going to be a little sort of border at the bottom. And still at this point, I wasn't sure, what I was going to do with this layout. I cut down the photo to about 3 3/4 by 4. And beyond that, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. This is supposed to be like a mixed media template, and to make it easier, like to smudge on your pages. So I added some ink, added some water, and then I'm just kind of moving it around, and then just so that it sort of makes kind of a funky design. And then I just splattered it or put it down on my page. Now it says to get the inks off that template or okay, so I had to stop the video and go check what this mat was called, and it's called an ink blending mat. And it says that if it becomes stained, you can remove the stains that are hard to get off with solvents such as rubbing alcohol. And I really like it. I really like that I was able to kind of put the ink on, put some water, move it around the way I liked it, and then just put it directly on the paper with, the more concentrated ink in the middle, and then kind of like spider-like legs going out. Of course, you can use, the packaging technique to do that. I just thought it'd be fun to have a tool like that, and it wasn't expensive at all. It was less than $10, so I thought I'd give it a try. And then I decided to start mounting the photo. First of all, I mounted it on the brown cardstock, and I just cut the inside of the brown cardstock. And to mount my photo, I cut down my photo to about 3/4 by 4 inches, 3 3/4 by 4 inches, and mounted it on brown. And then I just started cutting different sizes of the pattern papers, and these are also from Basic Gray from that 2008 collection. Okay, so now I'm just going to take some brown ink from Hero Arts. It's the dark brown, I think it's called. And I'm going to ink all the edges of all the pattern papers. I've cut down a little strip of one of the vertical line paper, and I'm going to put it at the top and the bottom of that the mat. And it just makes it look it just separates it well from the background paper, adds a little bit more interest. I wanted to keep it away from the other pattern paper that's right underneath the photo, and I just wanted a little bit to add, some interest, but I did want to keep it away from the pattern paper that was directly behind the photo, because that too is sort of like vertical lines and a little bit more going on with that pattern paper. And I know that the word dinosaur, I knew it was going to be, sort of a big word, and it was going to be at the top of the layout, and it's going to work into my journaling. So that's why I sort of put it out, on my wax paper even before I started doing the layout, because I knew it was going to be a big part of the layout, and I wanted to make sure that I had room for it. Now, this is the sticker sheet that I was talking about. It came inside the pattern paper pack. And so I'm going to use some of these stickers because, yes, they're related to dinosaurs. So it worked out perfect. I thought maybe I would use one of these border stickers, but as you can tell, it's very kind of wavy. And I thought maybe it would make it look like, sort of terrain or whatever. I could have put it underneath the dinosaurs, but I didn't like that it kind of covered their little legs and stuff. So I decided to just say, forget it and just keep it the way it is. Now I'm off looking for some modeling paste, and I didn't know if I wanted it in brown or in green. I'm going to decide on green. And I was looking for a pen or a marker or something to do my journaling, and first of all do my lines. And I'm using my T-square ruler, and that T-square ruler, I got it at Simon Says Stamp. It's super cheap. It's like $2.99, $3 for that ruler, and it's probably one of my most used tools. Like between that and my ATG gun that I use on every layout, it's pretty close to one of the tools that I use the most. So that's what I'm going to put. I'm going to put dinosaurs, they are extinct. And then I'm going to go into the story where the lady asks him, do you know what that means? And he says, yes, it means that they fart and they stink. Like, it was so simple. And so that it's going to go in, it's going to sort of the start of my journaling. And I'm using, like I said, those stickers for the bigger word. And then I am using some Doodlebug. And, I'd rather put they are extinct, like the real word, but I'm running out of letters for those, and they are my favorite little letters, but I'm running out of, like, I had no E's and no small A's, or I had a small A and no small E. So I decided to go and just put like an R, like they are extinct, and I'm fine with that. It kind of makes it too, so that's something that's very real right now with teenagers and how they text and how they communicate with each other and all that stuff. So it's real to this time as I'm doing this layout, so I was okay with that. Now those stickers, I absolutely love them, but they have absolutely no stick to them whatsoever, like not even a little bit. And they are quite old. I've had them for a long time, which, I mean, let's be honest, stickers are kind of known for not sticking anyway. So, but these really didn't stick at all. They wouldn't even made it inside my page protector. So I'm just going to glue down the rest of that title. And then I'm going to do the journaling at a different time. I really need to go through all of my layouts. I'm actually going to take a picture of how many layouts are out of albums. For the longest time, I didn't have any page protectors or albums to fit all of them, but I've since bought quite a few albums, and every time I saw them at Michael's 2 for 1, buy one get one free, I would buy albums. And then I bought a whole bunch of page protectors, and actually I'm still buying page protectors almost every month, so that I'll have enough page protectors to put all of these pages away. And I believe even this page, I didn't put the date down, like the year that it was taken, the picture and the story. So I need to do that. Actually, as soon as I'm done this, I'm going to go upstairs and put the date, because that's something that I'm terribly, terribly horrible with, is I don't put the date, which while I'm doing the layout, I know what date this was taken. But 6 months from now, or a year from now, I'm going to look at it and go, I have no idea when this was taken. And it's not good. I need to put the dates down as I'm doing the layouts. And wish I could say do the journaling, but journaling is something that I need to think on and kind of write it down on a scrap piece of paper, and then I put it on my layout. Now this is where I put down the template and use some Shimmer's paste. I think this is might be the textures, so it has a little bit of texture in it. And I had a few embellishments that I had put to the side that were from Cool Kid. I think it's crepe paper, if I remember correctly. But they didn't go with the tone of this layout, so I'm not going to use them. Now I used a big paintbrush and just used some of the leftover ink that I had put to the background, and added some water, and then I just added some spatters to the layout. So I'm just waiting for that to dry a little bit. You saw me take out my heat gun and dried it a little. It's not completely dry, but it's enough that I know I'm just going to be working on the right side of the layout, so I'm fine with just kind of not touching it, trying to stay away from it. So there was a couple of stickers that I wanted to use. One of them said imagination, and I mean, kids that age, they have such an imagination. So it went perfect for that. And then there was a dinosaur that was quite big, and I'm going to mount it on some foam tape, and I'm going to put it right beside my title. So it works out perfectly, right beside that title. And then I looked at the stamp set, and some of them were little footprints, almost like little dinosaur footprints. So I decided to kind of stamped all throughout the layout, making little dinosaur tracks, just coming onto the page and then off the page, just to add a little bit more interest. And I thought that was pretty cute. There was more than one different footprint, I guess, and I'm just going to add them around the title too. And some of this wasn't glued down perfectly, so I'm using my fine line bottle. And in my fine line bottle, I have some quick dry adhesive, which you can get at Michael's. And the foam tape that I use is from 3M, and it comes in this huge roll. And it must be now 2.5 years since I've had this roll. I know I have another roll somewhere, but I think it's still packed. I still have, I think last time I said I had about 30 boxes left, but when I went downstairs, I counted and it was more like 55. But this week, I've put away almost 10 boxes up to now. And today is the 29th, and I go back to work tomorrow for 4 days. And I'm going to be putting away a couple more boxes today. So I'm plugging away at them, but the boxes that are left are really a lot of work. It's all little stuff that I need to separate, and it takes forever to do one box, but I'm getting it done. And like I said, I'm really taking my time and dividing everything where it needs to go, and then I'll be doing a room tour. Now I'll let you know that at the end of this video there won't be a close-up of the layout, because like I said, today is my last day, so I'm kind of have to do 3 voiceovers, and so I have layouts to upload this week because I'm going to be working for the rest of the week. So I'm just, and then I have to do my regular stuff, you know, like being a mom and going to work for 5 days in a row or 4 days in a row. I don't have time to do a lot of stuff when I'm working, so I have to make sure that everything is done before I go back to work. And now it's at the point where I'm putting some enamel dots, and that's going to complete the layout, and I really like it. I like that the dinosaur, like the title, is going to go into my journaling. I like that I did some stuff to the background, like adding little footprints, and I like the border at the bottom where I added, you know, the dinosaurs, and I felt like I needed another embellishment cluster, so I just took one of the stickers, added a heart, and then I'm going to add some enamel dots, and that's going to do my third cluster. And that's going to complete the layout. Now, if you're enjoying these videos, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe. I try to upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's been a little sporadic lately, but I know it's going to become more consistent in the next month or so as I'm going down to part-time. I'm so excited, and much needed. that's what I'm going to say for now. I'm going to do probably a scrap and chat and let you know a little bit more about what's been going on. But for now, that's going to complete this layout, and I want to thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.